Mass Effect Andromeda introduced us to many different elements and probably left a lot of questions for a lot of us. In particular, for us anyway, we still got a bunch of questions about the Angara and the Jardaan, which led us to this. Hi, this is Rima from MEOdyssey, and today I'm going to look at a little theory regarding the Jardaan, their tech, and its link to the Angara. Now, before I even start looking at the theory, let me say that I'll try and be as concise and clear as possible, but some of the points may run through each other, so if there are any questions, additions, etc., let us know in the comments below. So here's the question: are the Angara actually a synthetic organic hybrid? And please be aware for any spoilers ahead for Mass Effect Andromeda. So this theory will look at several aspects for both the Angara and the Jardaan, including some of the aspects for their lore. So bear with me as we get through some of this before we look at the question itself. A good place to start is actually to look at the Angara themselves, considering they are the focus of this theory. The Angara were actually created by the Jardaan, the creators of the synthetic remnant, as we discover on the Kai Tessera, the massive remnant structure which had originally been anchored to Meridian. The Jardaan had created the Angara and seeded them throughout the Helios cluster. The Angara are seemingly warm-blooded mammalian creatures with two sexes. Another aspect of the Angara is that they produce a strong, natural bioelectric field that they have a fine control over and can utilize for communication, self-healing, and memory transfer. This bioelectricity seems to definitely come into play on the Angaran homeworld of Havarl that looks like it's come straight out of the movie Avatar. There are examples of bioelectricity in real life, such as the electric eel, certain species of fish, and frogs that can utilize bioelectric charges for self-defense, attack, and communication. Some of these animals have electric organs consisting of electrocytes that help produce electricity by transporting charged positive ions out of the cell, leading to a change in the cell potential, leading to a charge buildup. We know very little about the Jardaan other than the fact that they created the remnant and seemingly the Angara, seeding them throughout the Helios cluster, clearly showing their advanced ability. The remnant tech, specifically the Vault system, seemed to be primarily for terraforming and maintaining habitats, with Meridian being a focal point and control hub for the entire system. There are still several questions about the Jardaan, like why do they go through all the trouble of terraforming and creating the Angara, as well as what do they actually look like? It's noted that the Jardaan may have had a similar build to the races that we've already seen and are familiar with just because of the design of their structures. However, no DNA has been left behind, so we may never know. Other than the Angara, the Jardaan synthetic creations, what we call the Remnant, seem to utilize some form of nanotech that rapidly assembles from walkways, drones, and platforms. We constantly see the tech assembling and disassembling out of thin air. Another interesting aspect of Remnant tech is the fact that, for the Initiative and the Ket anyway, the Remnant tech seems to need some form of AI to process and interface. Other than Sam, we know the only other AI in Andromeda is the Mind of Vold, the ancient and fairly advanced AI that seemingly possesses a personality, along with wants, ill will, and the ability to lie. Though thought to be Angaran, neither the Angara or the AI itself have any memory of this. This is unrelated to this theory, but it does beg the question, is the Mind of Vold even Angaran or something else? Much like a lot of the game, the Scourge is very much left unexplained by the end of the game. Unleashed on the Helios cluster when an enemy of the Jardaan, only known as quote, the Opposition, detonated a powerful weapon on the Kai Tessera which caused the Scourge to spread via Remnant tech. It is also stated that the Opposition were given intel on the Jardaan by another race or faction called the Jahel, and that is literally all we know about this other group. This led us to the question, why would these two groups band together to attack the Jardaan? Maybe the answer actually lies with the Scourge. The Scourge itself is a dark energy phenomenon that apparently acts antagonistically to what Milky Way scientists have observed about dark energy. It also causes massive amounts of damage to technology and seemingly targets Remtech as seen on most of the Golden Worlds, as is seen seeping from remnant structures. Is it possible that the Scourge was created to shut down the Jardaan's efforts to terraform, or was there something else that these groups were trying to stop? The last point is the emphasis that Mass Effect, and very particular Mass Effect Andromeda, makes about artificial intelligence in the story. First there's Sam, whose connection to Ryder plays a pivotal role in the story. Sam's development and involvement in Ryder's story becomes very important to revitalizing Helios, but also becomes a point of contention for other characters, from worries from crew members, AI leadership and other NPCs, to straight up terrorism from those affected by AI in the Milky Way, for example in the Firefighter storyline. Though the story definitely brings up the great attributes of an AI, in particular Sam's assistants, we do see AI acting in their own accord in a way to suggest they may have been unshackled, such as when the mind of all can harm and kill an Angaran and lie to you, and to when Sam can kill the Pathfinder, even though with their consent due to their deep connection. With this morality issue, it seems that the cycle of synthetic and organic contention continues in Andromeda. However, could this have taken another step? Well, that was a lot to go through, so let's piece it all together. We know the Jardaan were highly advanced with the ability to create synthetic beings such as Remnant, terraform planets, and seemingly even create an entire race of organic creatures. Remtech itself seems to also utilize AI to interface. The Angara are biological but also bioelectric, using electric impulses for a variety of different things. But most interestingly, memory transfer, which we saw in Havarl, when Tavos managed to gather the memories of his ancestor Zaraya by interfacing with an heirloom's myoelectric inputs. He then had the ability to interface with remnant tech without using an AI. Is it possible that the Angara aren't completely biological and that their bioelectric abilities are more indicative of synthetic elements allow them to interface with remnant tech? So rather than having Ryder and Sam working together to use the tech, were the Angara initially created to interface with remnant tech? And much like the pushback we've seen to AI in the current Mass Effect storylines, were the opposition and the Jardaan against what the Jardaan were doing. Imagine an advanced race terraforming worlds and creating a new race to inhabit these worlds, a possibly synthetic organic hybrid race. Other species in the Helios cluster could legitimately be not so pleased, especially if their experience with AI has mirrored that of those in the Milky Way. This could be the reason why they unleashed a weapon such as the Scourge, specifically targeting remnant tech. Could it be possibly to hinder the development of the Angara? And I guess if the Angara are some form of synthetic organic hybrid created by their Jardaan, it would mirror, purposefully or accidentally, one of the solutions provided by the Catalyst at the end of Mass Effect 3, suggesting that the merging of synthetics and organics, the two sides, might actually have a better understanding of each other. So that's our theory regarding the Angara, the Jardaan, and the possibility that the Angara themselves are a synthetic organic hybrid created by the Jardaan. Was it to bridge the difference between synthetics and organics? Was it to allow them to use their extensive tech, or were the Angara created to mimic their creators? Were the Jardaan also something very similar? I should also note, while doing some research for this theory, I found another theory related to the Angara which I found super interesting by Reddit user DeathOrion, who touches on some of the points I've covered in this video, but came to a very different conclusion, which is something I love about theories. If you want to check out this user's theory, I will leave a link in the description below. And there you go, that's the theory, and we'd love to know what you think about it in the comments below. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and please share this video to help the channel grow. And with that, hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.